Hello viewers, good morning, good afternoon from the independent news portal, the Open View. Welcome to the Open View. We all know that for the more than 30 days, the lawyers, the members of the Jammu and Kashmir High Court Bar Association, Jammu, they were protesting to push their demands, genuine demands, which everybody accepted in the city, that they wanted to have a multi-story building in the premises of the High Court complex, and this multi-story building is to house all the judicial work under one roof, which is at present has been scattered here and there. And because of this scattered judicial work, it was causing huge, acute inconvenience to the lawyers. Because, and not only to the lawyers, but to the general public at large. Because they have to go here, all the lawyers who work from one court to another court, they move from one court to other court for their judicial work, and it was really not convenient to move for them from High Court to tribunal at Sujima, Armed Forces Tribunal, or to attend their cases at CAT, which is away from the premises of the High Court, or for that matter, Consumer Court, which is at present is not in existence, in operation for the last more than 2 years, and registration work, which is scattered all over. Because we all know that with the advent of this abrogation of Article 370, altogether a new setup has taken place in the erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, which brought deep changes in the governing system. The registration work, which was previously within the premises of the district court complex, suddenly taken away from them, and it was assigned to the revenue authorities. And you know that revenue authorities are scattered. So, keeping in view then the High Court service matters, which the lawyers used to conduct in High Court, it was assigned to the new Central Administrative Tribunal, CAT, away from the premises. So the whole job, the work, judicial work, it was all here and there, which was really difficult for the lawyers to move from one court to the other court, and that too from the away from the judicial complex. So इस कारण से all these difficulties were taken into consideration, and the Bar Association Jammu, decided to put forth this genuine demand to the government of the day, led by Lieutenant General Mr. Manoj Sinha ji. So this demand was put forth to the present establishment, the LG administration, but they paid no heed towards this genuine demand. Then what happened? When government became adamant, they 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 projected, they showed their adamant attitude, stubborn attitude to the Liars Association. Then the strike, the protest was prolonged. And the Association of Liars, the Jammu Bar Association, decided to intensify its strike. Now it has come to the knowledge that the members of the Bar Association held a journal house meeting yesterday, and the developments which has taken place after the intensification of the liars' protest has been placed before the journal house. And it has also come to the knowledge, to the information, that it happened, the members, the authorities, the official bearers of the Jammu and Kashmir High Court Bar Association Jammu, which is being led by the worthy president, Mr. Senior Advocate, Mr. M.K. Bhardwaj. They said they had a meeting with the Honorable Chief Justice of the Jammu and Kashmir High Court Bar, High Court, along with his other POIN judges, and on the assurances of the Honorable Chief Justice and his POIN judges. Now, the Journal House, under the leadership of Mr. M.K. Bhardwaj, the present president of the Jammu Bar Association, has decided to hold the strike. It is not in my information that whether the strike is permanently called off or it is temporarily called off, but they have decided in the journal house meeting to resume their work from Monday. Now, it is remained to be seen that in the coming days, the LG administration, what they take the necessary steps in pursuance to the demands of the members, worthy members of the worthy Jammu and Kashmir High Court Bar Association Jammu. This remains to be seen. But for the time being, the court work by the members of the Jammu Bar Association will be resumed from Monday. This is what the latest development is there in the liars' protest. I hope this information will flow to the public at large so that accordingly they could decide the litigants could decide to take further steps in their cases and all that. With this, I will move. After this information, I will move to the other topic, and that is that protests or strikes, these are two different expressions. No doubt, the basic ingredient of both the expressions is cessation of work. Now, the other difference between these two expressions is protest is that protest is constitutionally recognized. And strike, it is statutorily recognized under the Industrial Disputes Act. So, both are recognized. One is constitutionally recognized, the other is statutorily recognized. Now, why we feel, I will further let you know, and it must be in your knowledge, that if you examine Article 19 of the Constitution of India, you will see there 5 or 6 freedoms which has been guaranteed. And one of them is to assemble peaceably, without any arms, without resorting to any violence. This is your fundamental right. With this, there is freedom of speech and freedom of expression. So, these two freedoms you have to see conjointly together. When you assemble, why you assemble? Whether you are going to say something, you are going to express something. And this is the reason that the citizens has to assemble. So your protest and strike both are recognized. One is recognized by the statute, and the other is recognized. Protest is recognized by the constitutional provisions, Article 19. So protest is your fundamental right. Now the question rises that why the citizens, they feel need to go on protest. What happens? What prompts them that they feel to go on protest? But they want to demonstrate. Say, for example, I exemplify that government of the day, if it says, say, for example, the farmers' protest, I will exemplify from them, from the farmers' protest. why farmers has to go to protest, to strike against the policy of the government. And what was that policy? The policy was that the farmers were of the view, of the perception, that the government is going to hand over gradually their farming system in the private hands. So this was their grievance. They felt it that this policy is against their sustenance, their livelihood. Secondly, they were demanding the minimum sale price, MSP, which was nowhere in the legislation, in the shape of legislation. It was just oral. So they wanted that the government should give us the legislation on minimum sale price, MSP, and aggrieved by this policy, the law which the government made, the farmers in India protested. So any act which the government does and it does not favor the masses, then what is the alternative with the masses? The alternative is provided in the constitution itself, which I have just explained to you, that you can peaceably assemble without any violence or without any arm. You can peaceably assemble and demonstrate your grievance. You can express your grievance, so that the government of the day or their representatives, they listen to you, to your demand, they sit with you across the table and resolve your grievances. This is the basic purpose of protest. And there is no other purpose. Because in any democracy, if you are not heard, if your grievance is not resolved, then we cannot term it as a democracy. Dialogue. Dialogue is the hallmark of any democracy in the world. Without dialogue between the establishment and the masses, the democracy cannot survive, sustain itself. So, the protest and strikes, both having the same purpose. If in industries, the workers, if the owners of the industries, they cause any injustice to the workers, their policy, it infringes the rights of the workers. The workers have been accorded statutorily to go on strike. Otherwise, there is no way out. The powerful can do anything which he likes. And if there will be no dialogue, there will be no resolution of their grievances, then the things will turn adverse. Because there is a limit to everything. If injustice goes beyond the tolerance level, then it has adverse impact on the system in which you are living. So the balancing act is very important from the government side. The rights of the people, constitutional rights of the people and of the government has to be balanced. This is why the system of judiciary has been created. That if the executive, who is so powerful, goes beyond certain level, then constitutionally the duty is enjoined upon the judiciary to correct and bring the executive back on the level, on the level. Otherwise, it is going to cause huge injustice, grave injustice to the masses. So, the purpose of protests or the strikes is to demonstrate their grievances against the policies which are not favorable to the masses. Policies made by the governments or policies made by the owners of the industries. So protest is a form, strike is a form of demonstration of your grievances against the policies of the government or of the industrial masters, which are likely to cause grave injustice to the masses, to the workers. This is why they protest, they strike. And it is very important that the protests, the strikes should not go out of the hands of the government. Government should come forward and resolve the grievances of the masses. So, I wanted to make you aware on the protests and on the strikes. That strike is your statutory right and protest is your constitutional right. The only condition is that your assembly must be peaceful and without any arms. Because if it will not be, then under the same provisions, constitutional provisions, if the public order is not maintained or in the interest of public order, the government can come into action. Hopefully, it has enlightened you about the protest and the strikes. And you might have understood also the difference between the two. With this, I will end my this topic and say goodbye. Thank you.